Now, this is what we call a transition. Talk to you for about a minute, kind of let your eyes get adjusted down here. We do say this quite a bit. Don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it is gonna be for your safety. I will be telling you, please watch your step and watch your heads often. The cave stays between 65 to 68 degrees year round, but it's also 100% humidity in here year round. So these floors are wet and damp, and they are slippery. So that's why we tell you, please watch your step. Whenever I tell you watch your head, that's what I'm talking about. Now, I am the head tour guide. Been doing this now for 4 years. I will still go home with at least one knot on my head a day. So y'all do as I say, don't do as I do. I'm gonna start it right now too. But right down this pathway here, the ceiling behind me, it does hang over it. Y'all please watch yourself right there.
You just may. Careful what you ask for. That drops right there.
Full frog space here in this room. You can hear as long as I've been working, start naming cheats.
Oh
There's
no.
all kinds of different names for animals down here. This is one room I do find quite a few snakes in. So I look for them so nobody gets scared.
What kind of snakes?
I found rat snakes, oak snakes, ringnecks, and scarlet king snakes.
Wow.
I have come across black racer in here. Those things are quick.
I bet, yeah.
I caught them.
Wow.
They're real aggressive. So those snakes, I keep a hold of them right behind the head.
Yeah.
Put them around my neck. Prettiest snake I found in here though is a scarlet king snake. He was right at 3 foot long.
Yeah.
Real pretty marks on him.
Yeah.
Red, black, yellow, and white.
Nice.
All right, now this room here, this is what's known as our entry room. And right back here where you see that water puddle and this blue light, this is called the basement. Now I won't be taking you through that because we're not allowed to during the daytime.
Oh, dang.
We do what we call VIP tours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. I don't care how much water is in this cave or how deep of the mud it is, I won't take you through it. Because that's what you're paying for. I wait till the last daytime tour comes out of the cave, I turn the lights off down here. I'm gonna show you what it looks like in here too, in a couple of rooms. Those things are so much fun. Got you down here for about 2.5 hours in the dark, a few flashlights. This room here, I have been up to my chest in water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they are fun, but the water's about 58 degrees. So you get to take a cool bath plus you washing your clothes all at the same time. So,
And swimming with snakes.
I do tell everybody, if you got your phones, take them out of your pocket and hold them high because it's going to be wet in there.
Wow.
All right, now the basement. This is going to give you an idea about how deep we will be at times. From the floor of that spot down there to the surface is 60 feet. We will be as close as 15 feet a few times because we are going up and down. In this corner, what part of the hill that we're under, I can pretty much tell you within a foot how deep you are. Been doing this for so long, I study it all the time. Now, the way the cave itself, though, it got formed, it was many years ago. All of Florida was covered underneath the warm Salis Sea. Today, up here in the Panhandle, that water is known as the Gulf of Mexico. It used to be up here above us. Now, back then, most animals that lived in that water lived in a shell. So as this animal died, the shell would sink. And as the tides came in and out, cover everything up with sand, crushed up coral, more shell, plus the way the water on top of it, it was packed in real tight, almost perfectly granite concrete. Then as the water started to back off, the sun started baking it. That's what turned all this stuff into our limestone. Now there was a lot of acid rain back then. So as this stuff got rained on, this water started seeping through it like water in a sponge. It came all the way down to the bedrock that it was sitting on. Then that acid water started to dissolve the other side of this limestone. Then eventually a river started flowing through here. This is what carved out the rest of the cave. Now I'll show you where that river came from one of the rooms further back. Now we're gonna be taking right at a 3/4 of a mile walk. The cave itself though is close to being 5 square miles big. So I am taking you through just a small portion of it. Myself, I've been through this cave I don't know how many times. We do have 35 caves on the property. I've been through 18 of them. I'm trying to make all 35. Park rangers know that too, so I keep hitting them. When we going back in? So I get to crawl again. I'm not even a state employee. I just help them out quite a bit. Now this next room we're going to, it is going to be the smallest one down here. Might not be real bad with this many people, but you are going to be kind of packed inside it. The pathway you're going to have to take though to get to this room, it does live up to the name. This is called the Tuck and Squeeze. It is 4 foot high, a little over 2 foot wide. Take about 5 seconds to walk through it and that'll be it. This is going to be the only tight spot that you'll have to go through. Other than that, sometimes the ceiling might come down a little low and I'll let you know about that area. But y'all please be careful walking through here.
This is when short is handy.
Where shortness comes in handy.
Yeah. This is too cool. Ooh, Steve. Oh my gosh, look how cool this is.
Got 15. If I had 25, I'd get you come up a little bit further.
So this is where we're all meeting in the apocalypse. This is where we're all meeting in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Bring supplies.
This been the safest place to be when Hurricane Michael came through.
Yeah, I bet.
Very little rain in that storm.
Do you guys let people in here?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Uh,
You were here though.
I live 5 minutes from here.
Okay. I'll get your phone number.
Like you said, 4 hours we had 140 mile an hour wind right here in Marianna.
Wow.
We call that northeast corner.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of the storm.
Yeah.
And I got a 21 foot Triton bass boat. Had no time to move it because it jumped up in strength real quick.
Yeah.
So I hooked up to it, faced the nose of my boat to the east because I knew that's where the wind was coming.
Yeah.
And I lowered it down. Wind went all the way around it.
Wow, smart.
When the storm left, I had to run out there. I was going to jack it up, get the water out. I might have got a half a gallon. It was nothing but pure
You got luck.
wind.
Yeah.
Lived here all my life, and I've been through a lot of hurricanes. I've never been through one that held the strength this far in me, like this one
Yeah.
did.
Wow.
It was bad.
That is bad.
Okay, this room here, this is what's known as our wedding room. And the reason we do call it that is we actually have 2 to 3 weddings in here a year. We had one about 9 months ago. Now, right up here where I'm at, this is where the preacher would be. Now, this step right down here, I'm fixing to get on. Come here, honey, I'm going to use you for an example. I want you to stand right there next to me. Turn around, face the audience. This is where the couple would be.
Cute.
Now, this is when the man will hear the dreaded words that will echo in his brain for the rest of his life. That's when the preacher says, I now pronounce you man and wife. What's yours is hers, and what's hers is hers. That's what happens. Thank you, baby.
That's good.
Now, I do this as a hobby. I've been married 4 times already. If you see me touching something, that is man-made. This is man-made right here in this area. Now, when people got married in here, it cost you $50. You cannot beat that price nowhere.
No.
The room is actually uniquely decorated for you. Now we're gonna get started with the decorations in the ceiling. Now right up here in the front, all this stuff is sort of beige brown. Now back here in the back though, it turns into a grayish white. Now all this is minerals. I'll tell you more about that in the next room. But these tiny little formations up here, these are called soda straws. They are hollow and they're real fragile. This is how these things start to grow in here. As it rains outside, it takes that water anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to make its way through this limestone before it gets inside the cave. Now while it's making that journey though, it's collecting minerals. Water comes to the ceiling as a little drop. Minerals will get hooked to it. As that little drop water falls, there's going to be another one coming in right behind it. It will do the same thing. And through a long, just form our little hollow straws. Now through a number of years, these straws will get clogged up from the minerals. Now when this happens, that water starts to seep around the outside of it to make it grow. This is when it changes itself into a stalactite, just like these big ones we got right up here in the ceiling. Now as that water goes around this stalactite, when it comes to that little point, as it drops down to the floor, still has a lot of minerals, it starts forming your stalagmite. Now through a great number of years of growth, these two formations here, they will connect to each other. Now when this happens, it changes itself into a column, just like this one right here beside me. So many years ago, this big old column right here started life as one of these tiny little soda straws. Now in the next room, I'll give you an idea about how long it's taking this thing right here to grow. Now over here on this other side, is what we call cave draperies. We do have quite a few of them right next to this gentleman back here in the back, and we do have some down here in the front. Now these are also known as angel wings, bat wings, elephant ears, pig ears, or big slabs of bacon. Because some of them do look like a big old piece of bacon going right down the wall. Now as water's coming through this right here, with the angle that it has, it's not dropping. It's trickling down the wall. It will leave all the minerals behind. Our cave draperies are some of the fastest growing formations we have down here. Again, it takes these things a pretty good while too. And I'll let you know more about that in the next room also. Any questions?